There's a reason why so many seniors feel blindsided by their own body. It's not because they didn't care, it's because no one ever told them what aging really does. Not to your looks, but to your brain, your strength, your peace of mind. Today, we're breaking the silence. These 7 truths might be hard to hear, but they could be the very thing that gives you your energy, memory, and clarity back. You wake up tired. Even after 8 hours of sleep, you move slower. Your limbs feel heavier. People tell you, well, that's just part of getting old. But what if I told you that kind of fatigue isn't normal aging? It's a warning light? See, one of the most common and most misunderstood signs of aging isn't just wrinkles or gray hair, it's the chronic, creeping exhaustion that sneaks up on you. But here's the thing. In many seniors, that drop in energy isn't from aging at all. It's from something far more controllable: circulatory slowdown. After 60, your body's blood vessels start to narrow, your blood thickens slightly, your heart works harder just to get oxygen to your muscles and brain. The result? You feel wiped out, not because you're old, but because your body isn't circulating nutrients the way it used to. Let me tell you about Robert, 72, a former engineer. Still sharp, still curious, but he'd been feeling heavy for months. He assumed it was normal aging. But when we did a few basic tests, we found early signs of poor circulation and low hydration. No heart disease, no major illness, just sluggish blood flow and mild dehydration, silently draining his energy. After adjusting his hydration, movement, and one key mineral, his energy surged within weeks. So here's the first harsh truth. Your fatigue might not be aging. It might be your blood. And there's something else most people miss. It's the timing. Seniors who eat late at night or consume high-carb dinners may sleep through the night, but their bodies never get the chance to recover. Why? Because instead of resting, their systems are still digesting. That means your brain doesn't repair. Your cells don't reset. Your body's internal cleanup crew, the glymphatic system, doesn't get to work. You wake up groggy and foggy and assume it's just part of getting older. It's not. So if you're feeling tired every morning, even after a full night's sleep, consider this. Are you eating your last meal after 7:30 p.m.? Are you drinking enough water throughout the day? Is your breakfast mostly sugar and starch? These little habits might not seem like much, but over time they train your body to live in low power mode. You start losing not just energy, but mental clarity, balance, even motivation. But the good news? This can be reversed. Start by pushing your dinner earlier. Drink water before bed instead of juice, and swap the sugary cereal or toast for something protein-rich, even just an egg and half an avocado. Within days, many of my patients say they feel something they haven't in years: awake. You don't need stimulants. You don't need to accept exhaustion as your new normal. What you need is circulation, hydration, and a routine that lets your body recover at night, instead of struggle. The truth is, the body doesn't stop working in your 60s or 70s. It just demands more respect. And when you give it what it needs, clean fuel, rest, and flow, it responds beautifully. Now, if fatigue isn't just aging, but a warning sign of circulation slowdown, imagine what else we've been mislabeling as just getting older. In the next section, we'll talk about something that sneaks up faster than most people realize: the memory slip that isn't normal, but the first sign your brain is struggling for oxygen. You walk into a room and forget why. You struggle to find the right word mid-conversation. You can't remember what you had for lunch. Most people chalk it up to age. But what if I told you memory slips like these are not always about age? In fact, in many seniors, they're not memory problems at all. They're circulatory problems, disguised as forgetfulness. Here's the truth. Your brain is one of the hungriest organs in your body. It needs a constant stream of oxygen and nutrients to work properly. And what happens when that stream slows down or gets blocked? You feel foggy, you feel disconnected, and you start forgetting things you never used to. But here's the kicker. The culprit might be your snacks. Not just junk food, but everyday things like crackers, cookies, low-fat granola bars, and muffins. These processed carbs spike your blood sugar, and when your blood sugar spikes, your blood gets thicker, more sluggish. The vessels in your brain, already more fragile after 60, struggle to keep up. Inflammation starts, oxygen delivery slows, and those little memory lapses? That's your brain sending a distress signal. One of my patients, Diane, 70 years old, came in because her daughter said she kept losing her train of thought. She was convinced it was early dementia. But when we reviewed her habits, the truth was hiding in plain sight. She skipped breakfast and grabbed a muffin by mid-morning, cheese crackers in the afternoon, a sweet tea at dinner. Her brain wasn't starving for memory. It was starving for blood flow. So here's the harsh truth. Some memory slips aren't aging. They're inflammation. And inflammation often starts in the pantry. But this is good news, because it means there's something you can do. Swap the crackers for walnuts. Replace that afternoon cookie with a handful of blueberries. Add leafy greens to your dinner plate. These foods fight inflammation and feed your brain the oxygen it's begging for. Your memory isn't lost. It's just waiting for the right fuel. And in the next section, we're going deeper. Because if memory slips are about blood flow, what happens when that flow gets blocked entirely? Let's talk about the truth behind strokes, and why many of them begin silently in your own kitchen. Strokes don't always announce themselves with a bang. More often, they build slowly, silently, bite by bite, meal by meal. And by the time symptoms appear, the damage is already done. Here's what no one tells you. Many strokes aren't random. They're the predictable result of daily choices that seem harmless. A deli sandwich for lunch, a frozen dinner for convenience, a cup of soup that tastes just fine. But inside your body, these choices are setting the stage for a life-altering event. Let's break it down. Your blood vessels, especially the tiny, delicate ones in your brain, are incredibly sensitive to sodium, preservatives, and inflammation. After 60, they lose elasticity. They stiffen, they narrow, and the more processed food you eat, the more pressure you put on those fragile vessels. Now add in sugary drinks, add in margarine, add in dehydration. What do you get? Thickened blood, narrow arteries, slowed circulation, and yes, the perfect setup for a clot. And it doesn't take a major blockage to cause a stroke. In seniors, all it takes is one tiny clot at the wrong time, often at night while you're sleeping, to silently cut off blood flow to a part of the brain. You might wake up feeling groggy, or not be able to move one side of your body. And suddenly, life is divided into before and after. Let me tell you about Joe, a 73-year-old former school principal, thought he ate healthy, never smoked, walked daily. But he had a habit of eating a ham sandwich for lunch every day. He didn't think much of it until he woke up one morning with numbness in his left hand. A scan revealed a small stroke. His blood work showed elevated clotting markers. And the biggest clue? The processed meat in his fridge. Joe didn't know he was at risk. Most people don't. But that's the problem. The harsh truth? Strokes aren't always about genetics or luck. Sometimes they're about salt, sugar, and timing. The good news? You can reverse your risk, starting with one simple shift, knowing what not to put on your plate. In the next section, we'll uncover the biggest mealtime mistake seniors make, one that not only affects your brain, but your ability to sleep, repair, and recharge. There's one habit most seniors never think twice about, and yet it might be quietly damaging your brain every single night. It's not the type of food you're eating, it's when you're eating it. Late night meals, that harmless snack before bed, that warm bowl of soup at 9:30 p.m., a couple of crackers while watching your favorite show. It feels comforting, familiar, even necessary. But if you're over 60, your body sees it differently. It sees it as a problem. Here's why. As we age, our digestion slows down. Our body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm, becomes more sensitive. When you eat late, especially foods high in carbs or sugar, your digestive system kicks into high gear. But your brain, it's trying to shut down, enter repair mode, and clean house. And that's where the sabotage begins. Instead of flushing out toxins, reducing inflammation, and restoring brain cells, your body is stuck processing food. Blood flow is diverted away from the brain. Deep sleep is disrupted. And the precious hours where your brain is supposed to heal are wasted. Even worse, those blood sugar spikes from a late meal can cause overnight blood pressure surges, especially dangerous in older adults. And while you sleep, a tiny clot may form. No warning, no pain, just a sudden shift in speech, memory, or balance the next morning. That's exactly what happened to Harold, 76. Retired engineer, healthy eater, liked to dine late, sometimes after 9 p.m. He didn't feel bad, but his daughter noticed he started waking up groggy, confused. One morning he forgot how to turn on the coffee pot. A scan showed he'd had a small stroke, likely while sleeping. He hadn't done anything wrong. But that one habit, dinner too late, robbed his brain of critical repair time. So here's the truth. It's not just what you eat, it's when. Give your body 2 to 3 hours before bed to fully digest. Let your brain do what it's supposed to do at night. Restore, not digest. Because deep rest isn't just sleep. It's your brain's healing window, and the wrong timing can quietly slam it shut. Next, we'll talk about a kitchen staple that many seniors still trust, and why the oil in your pan might be hardening your arteries like cement. You've probably heard that margarine is better than butter, that vegetable oils are heart healthy, that frying at home isn't as bad as fast food. But what if I told you, those beliefs are not just outdated, they're dangerous. Many seniors still have a tub of margarine in the fridge, a bottle of vegetable oil in the cupboard. They've been using them for decades, without realizing those very oils may be hardening their arteries from the inside out. The truth? Margarine and reused cooking oils are among the most inflammatory, artery-damaging substances in a senior's diet. Here's why. When these oils are heated, especially over and over, they oxidize. That creates free radicals. Free radicals injure the lining of your arteries, the same lining that carries oxygen to your brain. The injury triggers inflammation, and that inflammation leads to clot formation. Yes, it forms blood clots. These aren't large, obvious clots. They're microclots, the kind that drift silently through your bloodstream and block a tiny vessel deep inside your brain. You won't feel them forming, but you might feel the aftermath: dizziness, confusion, lost words, or worse. Helen, 81, learned that the hard way. She'd cooked with margarine for 30 years, loved crispy meals, pan-fried potatoes, toast in the skillet. She thought she was doing everything right, but she started forgetting names, mixing up her words. A scan revealed she'd had multiple silent strokes. Her blood work showed high inflammation. The culprit? The oil in her pan. She was devastated. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" she asked. And that's exactly the problem. This isn't about fear. It's about finally being told the truth. If the label says partially hydrogenated, throw it out. If you've reused the same oil in your skillet more than once, toss it. These fats don't just add calories. They accelerate aging. Inside your brain, inside your heart, inside your memory. Instead, reach for extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or cold-pressed coconut oil. These fight inflammation. They protect your vessels. They help your brain stay sharp, and your future stay yours. Now, if your cooking oil can silently age you, imagine what happens when you stop drinking enough water to flush it all out. Let's talk next about the hidden danger of dehydration in seniors, and why it's far more serious than you think. Most people think dehydration means being out in the sun too long or forgetting your water bottle at the gym. But for seniors, dehydration is more dangerous and far more silent. Here's the truth no one tells you. By the time an older adult feels thirsty, their brain is already under stress. As we age, our sense of thirst fades. The internal alarm system that once told you to drink something, it gets quieter. So you might go hours, even a full day, barely sipping water, and not even realize your brain is running dry. And when that happens, your blood thickens. It slows. It becomes stickier, more prone to clotting. And in an aging brain, where blood vessels are already narrower and more fragile, that's a dangerous combination. Let me introduce you to Mr. Franklin. He was 78, a retired contractor. Said he drank plenty, but mostly coffee. 1 glass of water with dinner. That was it. He didn't feel thirsty. He felt independent. But then his hand started trembling. He had trouble with balance. "Maybe I'm just getting old," he shrugged. We ran tests. His blood showed signs of concentration, a red flag that his body was chronically dehydrated. A brain scan revealed a small stroke, likely caused by a tiny clot that formed because his blood had become too thick to flow freely. He hadn't ignored his health. He just didn't know the truth. This is what I want every senior to understand. Your brain depends on water to work. Water keeps blood flowing. It delivers oxygen. It clears waste. Without it, things break down. Memory, focus, mobility. Even mild dehydration can cause confusion, brain fog, or fatigue. But over time, that fog can turn into real, lasting damage. And because the signs are so subtle, they're often missed until it's too late. So don't wait for thirst. Don't wait for a headache or dry mouth. Make hydration a daily habit, not a reaction. 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. More if you drink coffee or take diuretics. Keep a water bottle nearby. Add lemon or cucumber if it helps. Your brain won't just thank you, it will work better. And next, what if I told you that your morning coffee, that one thing you look forward to, might be overstimulating your brain and robbing you of deep healing sleep? Let's talk about that next. For millions of seniors, the day doesn't start without coffee. That warm mug, that familiar aroma. It's more than a drink. It's a ritual, a comfort, a little energy boost to get going. But here's what no one warns you about. Your body changes with age, and so does the way it handles caffeine. What used to be harmless at 40 could now be quietly putting pressure on your brain at 70. Caffeine stimulates your central nervous system. That's the point. It wakes you up, sharpens your senses. But in aging adults, those same effects can become a problem. Blood pressure rises, heart rate increases, blood vessels constrict, and in the brain, where delicate circulation is everything, that kind of stimulation can backfire fast. I once treated Rita, a 69-year-old retired nurse, lively, intelligent, active. But she started having frequent headaches and trouble concentrating. Her sleep was restless. She assumed it was just aging. But when we dug deeper, we found the hidden issue. 3 large cups of coffee a day, sometimes into the afternoon. Her nervous system was constantly in overdrive, never getting a full reset. A scan showed early signs of chronic small vessel ischemia, a condition where the smallest blood vessels in the brain begin to narrow and malfunction. Her sleep disruption, her brain fog, it all traced back to a simple habit she'd never questioned. Here's the thing, caffeine doesn't just wake you up, it elevates cortisol, your stress hormone. It disrupts your circadian rhythm. And most importantly, it blocks deep sleep, the kind your brain depends on to heal, repair, and organize memories. And that's the real danger. It's not just what caffeine does during the day, it's what it prevents at night. Now, I'm not saying give up coffee entirely. 1 cup in the morning, especially with food, is usually fine. But more than 2 cups? Afternoon caffeine, energy drinks or cola with dinner? That's when stimulation turns into silent sabotage. The harsh truth? Many seniors are unknowingly living in a state of low-level overstimulation, and it's aging their brains faster than time. Next up, let's talk about the most dangerous meal of the day, and why your breakfast routine might be quietly increasing your risk of stroke before noon. Breakfast is supposed to be the most important meal of the day, but for many seniors, it's also the most dangerous. That may sound shocking, but it's true. Because what you eat in the first hour after waking doesn't just impact your energy. It sets the tone for your blood sugar, your blood pressure, and your brain. And for most older adults, breakfast is a sugar bomb in disguise. Think about it. Bran flakes with raisins, a banana, a slice of toast, a glass of orange juice, maybe a low-fat yogurt or a muffin on the go. Sounds healthy, right? But in reality, that's over 50 grams of sugar, more than 12 teaspoons, flooding your bloodstream before 9 a.m. Here's what happens next. Your blood sugar spikes. Your body panics and floods your system with insulin. Blood sugar crashes. You feel tired, irritable, foggy. But more dangerously, your blood becomes thicker, stickier, more prone to clotting. And in an aging brain, where arteries are already narrower and more fragile, that's a recipe for a silent stroke. Let me introduce you to Robert, a retired firefighter, 73, sharp and disciplined. He had the same breakfast every day, bran flakes, juice, a muffin. He thought it was clean eating. But he came into my office complaining of brain fog, memory lapses, and trouble staying focused. We ran a scan. It showed early signs of microvascular damage, the kind linked to inflammation and sugar overload. His blood work? Frequent glucose spikes throughout the day, starting with breakfast. Robert hadn't made bad choices. He'd just been following advice from 30 years ago. The low-fat, high-carb trend that no one ever warned him could age his brain. So here's the harsh truth. Many traditional healthy breakfasts are fueling the very conditions that lead to stroke and memory loss in seniors. The solution? Start your day with steady fuel, not a sugar spike. Try eggs, avocado, sprouted toast, berries, a cup of green tea. These choices calm inflammation, stabilize your blood sugar, and give your brain what it actually needs to function. Because the first thing you put in your mouth each day might just decide how long and clearly you stay in control of your mind. Elaine was 75, a retired piano teacher with a sharp mind and a gentle smile. But after her husband passed, she started to feel different, a little foggy, a little off. She forgot appointments, misplaced her glasses. She even struggled to follow along with her favorite songs. Her doctor told her it was just normal aging. But Elaine didn't buy it, and thankfully, neither did I. We looked closely at her routine, and what stood out wasn't what she was doing wrong, it was what she was missing. Every morning started the same: toast and jam, some fruit, a splash of orange juice, no protein, no healthy fats, just sugar, carbs, and a flood of insulin. Her brain wasn't getting fuel, it was getting inflamed. So we made one change, just one. We swapped her sugary breakfast for something simple: an egg, half an avocado, and a small piece of sprouted toast. That's it. No pills, no diets, no overnight miracles, just a small, consistent shift. And we let the body do what it was designed to do. 3 weeks later, Elaine walked back into my office brighter. Her words flowed more easily. She wasn't misplacing things anymore. "I feel more like me again," she said. And I hear that phrase all the time. More like me. Because brain fog doesn't just steal your focus, it steals your sense of self. And the cruelest part? Most people don't know it's reversible, but it is. The truth is, your brain wants to heal. It just needs the right environment to do it. That starts with your first meal, and it builds with every choice that follows. So if you've been feeling foggy, tired, forgetful, don't write it off. Don't assume it's just what happens after 70, because aging isn't a decline. It's a transition, and one that you can shape with knowledge and intention. Elaine did it with breakfast, and so can you. Now, here's the question no one asks. If your brain can bounce back this quickly from years of damage, what other aging problems might be fixable too? Stick around, because in our next video, we'll explore the 3 most overlooked habits that could help seniors feel 10 years younger without changing your diet at all. But here's the part no one tells you. If a simple breakfast swap can clear brain fog, what else have we been told is just aging that might be totally reversible? Because if memory can come back, if energy can return, if your mind can feel sharp again after just a few small changes, then maybe the limits we've accepted aren't real at all. Maybe there's more strength, more clarity, and more you waiting just beneath the surface. And in our next video, we're revealing the 3 most overlooked habits that can help you feel 10 years younger, without changing your diet, without supplements, and without waiting months to see results. Trust me, this is the one you don't want to miss.